You think your passport is safe? You think your driver's license is enough? Think again. As of February 1, 2026, a new set of enforcement protocols has quietly gone live at airports across America, and it is absolutely hammering travelers over the age of 70. We aren't talking about a simple delay. We are talking about seniors being pulled out of line, forced to pay surprise fees on the spot, or worse, being denied boarding completely at the gate. I'm seeing reports of couples who have flown for 40 years without an issue suddenly stranded at TSA because of a single, digital discrepancy they didn't even know existed. If you have a flight booked this year, or if you're planning to visit the grandkids, you need to listen to me very carefully. The rules of engagement have changed. I'm Kaka, and for the last 15 years, I've been analyzing travel regulations and airline loopholes. I've helped thousands of people navigate the fine print, but frankly, I have never seen a confusion gap this wide between what the government says and what is actually happening on the ground. Here is the reality. There isn't a law that says seniors can't fly. That would be illegal. But there is a new digital compliance wall that has been erected in 2026, and it effectively acts as a silent ban for anyone who isn't 100% tech perfect. And statistically, that targets older travelers. Let's start with the one that is catching everyone off guard right now. The Confirm ID trap. You might have heard about the Real ID deadline for years. You probably ignored it because they kept pushing it back. Well, the grace period is dead. As of this month, if you show up to TSA with a standard, old-school driver's license that doesn't have that little star in the corner, you are in trouble. In the past, they might have waved you through with a warning. Not in 2026. Now, if your ID isn't compliant, TSA has rolled out a new protocol called Confirm ID. Here's how it works. If your ID doesn't scan correctly, or if it's an older non-real ID version, they will not let you through security unless you agree to an on-the-spot identity verification process. Sounds harmless, right? Wrong. First, it costs $45. Non-refundable. Charged right there at the checkpoint. If you don't have a credit card on you, or if you refuse to pay on principal, you miss your flight. But here is where it gets dangerous for seniors. I dug into the TSA's new field guidelines, and this verification process relies heavily on digital databases. If you moved recently, or if your name on your ticket doesn't perfectly match the digital profile they pull up, maybe you used Robert on the ticket but your ID says Bob, or you dropped a middle initial, the system flags you as unverified. For a 30-year-old with a digital footprint a mile wide, this is a 5-minute annoyance. But for a 75-year-old retired veteran whose records are partly on paper or haven't been updated in a federal database in a decade, the system often returns a null result. That means no verification. No access. Gate denied. I just read a forum post from a woman named Sarah in Florida. She's 72. She paid the $45 fee, waited 40 minutes for the check, and was still turned away because her 1990s marriage certificate wasn't digitized in the system they checked. She missed her grandson's graduation. But wait, it actually gets worse. Because even if you have the perfect ID, and you breeze through TSA, The airlines have quietly implemented their own automated filter that is canceling senior tickets before they even get to the airport. And this one? You can't pay $45 to fix it. This is the part that nobody is talking about, and it has to do with that little booklet in your pocket, your passport. If you are traveling internationally in 2026, the rules for passport validity haven't just tightened, they have become automated. In the old days, a human agent at the check-in desk would look at your passport. If it expired in 2 months, but you were only going for a week, they'd often say, "You should renew this soon," and let you on the plane. That human discretion is gone. Airlines are now using pre-flight clearance algorithms. 48 hours before your flight, their system sweeps the passenger list. If your passport expires within 6 months of your return date, not your departure date, your return date, the computer automatically revokes your boarding pass. You won't even know until you try to check in on the app and get an error message. I know. You're thinking, Kaka, my passport is good for another 5 years, I'm fine. Are you sure? Because there is a massive change coming for anyone flying to Europe later this year that involves a digital visa waiver called ETIAS. And if you are over 70, the application process has a specific medical triggers section that is confusing the heck out of people. One wrong checkbox on that form, and you are red flagged across the entire continent. I'm going to break down exactly how to bypass that digital trap in a minute, but first, we need to talk about the physical fit to fly assessments that gate agents are now required to make. You think you're just walking to your gate. The airline sees a liability walking to a lawsuit. I mentioned fit to fly assessments earlier. In 2026, this isn't just a policy, it's a bounty program. Airline gate agents are under immense pressure to minimize in-flight medical diversions. A diversion costs an airline anywhere from $50,000 to $500,000 000. So, who do they target to prevent this? You. If you are over 70, you are being watched from the moment you scan your boarding pass at the kiosk. They are looking for 3 specific silent tells. 1. Gait instability. Are you leaning too heavily on your carry-on? 2. Auditory delay. Did you ask the agent to repeat the question twice? 3. The confusion pause. Did you stop in the jet bridge to check your ticket? Here is the nightmare scenario I'm seeing every single week in my inbox. An agent spots you stumbling slightly. Maybe you're just stiff from the car ride. Doesn't matter. They pull you aside and ask, "Are you feeling well enough to fly today?" This is a trap. If you say, "Oh, I'm just a little tired," or "My hip is acting up," you have just given them legal grounds to deny you boarding under the general safety clause of their contract of carriage. They will demand a medical clearance form signed by a physician. Not your doctor back home, a physician right now. And since you can't conjure a doctor out of thin air in Terminal B, you are off the flight. Your luggage goes on without you. And the airline? They aren't liable for your hotel because it's a medical denial, not a mechanical one. I have a client, a retired engineer named Bill. He was denied boarding in Dallas because he was out of breath from rushing to the gate. The agent marked him as respiratory distress. He spent 2 days trying to get a clearance letter. But if you think domestic travel is a minefield, international travel has become a fortress. Let's talk about the European digital wall. For decades, Americans could just land in Paris or Rome, show a passport, and grab a croissant. That era is over. The ETIAS system is now the gatekeeper. And there is a massive misconception floating around Facebook that is going to get thousands of seniors stranded this summer. You might have read that seniors over 70 are exempt. That is a half-truth that will ruin your vacation. You are exempt from the fee. You save €7. Whoopee. You are not exempt from the application. You still have to fill out the form. You still have to get approved. And here is where the algorithm gets nasty for older travelers. The application asks specific questions about contagious or serious illnesses. Now, I know you're honest. You might be tempted to check yes because you have a managed condition. Maybe you're on medication. Do not guess on this form. The moment you check that box, the system doesn't call a doctor. It doesn't ask for nuance. It triggers an automatic manual review. A manual review can take 30 days. If your flight is in 2 weeks, you aren't going. The airline system links to the ETIAS database. If your status isn't approved 48 hours before takeoff, you cannot check in. Period. I've seen families where the kids and grandkids get approved instantly, but grandma is stuck in pending limbo because she answered a health question too broadly. So, the family has a choice: cancel the $10,000 trip, or leave grandma behind. It's ugly. It's unfair. And it's completely automated. But here is the good news. There is a way to beat these algorithms. There is a specific script you need to use when a gate agent challenges you. There is a specific way to pack your meds so TSA's new scanners don't flag your bag for a 45-minute search. And there is one setting on your phone you need to change right now before you step into an airport in 2026. I'm going to give you the Senior Travel Armor checklist in the final part of this video. This is the stuff travel agents aren't allowed to tell you. They have the algorithms. We have the strategy. Here is how you win. I promised you this Senior Travel Armor checklist. This is the exact protocol I give to my private clients. It consists of 3 layers of defense that turn you from a liability into a pro traveler in the eyes of airline staff. Layer 1. The pharmacy firewall. You heard me talk about the $45 fees and the delays. Most of that happens because of medication confusion. TSA scanners in 2026 are high-sensitivity 3D CT scanners. They flag organic mass density. You know what looks exactly like a block of organic explosives to a computer? A baggie full of mixed pills buried inside a suitcase. Do not use those Sunday, Monday, Tuesday plastic sorters. I know you love them. Leave them at home. The protocol. 1. Keep all meds in their original prescription bottles. Yes, it takes up more space. Do it anyway. 2. Put all those bottles in a separate, clear gallon freezer bag. 3. Here is the secret weapon. Before you put your bag on the belt, You look the TSA agent in the eye and say these exact words: "I have medically necessary liquids and supplies that require a hand check." By law, they must screen them separately. This keeps your meds away from the X-ray radiation, which can actually degrade some new heart medications, and, more importantly, it signals to the agent that you know your rights. Layer 2. The Gatekeeper Script. Remember that Fit to Fly assessment? The one where they try to trip you up with questions like, "Are you feeling okay to fly?" while you're out of breath? If a gate agent singles you out, do not give them your life story. Do not tell them about your bad knee or your vertigo. You look them in the eye, stand up straight, and use this safe harbor phrase: "I am traveling independently. I require no medical assistance. I am simply adjusting my luggage." That's it. You have just legally affirmed that you are self-sufficient. You have removed their liability. They will almost always wave you through. Layer 3. The Digital Shield, the phone setting. I told you there is one setting you need to change. In 2026, if you do have a medical episode, even a minor faint, airlines will check your phone for emergency info before calling the paramedics. If they can't find it, they assume the worst and ground you. Go to your phone settings right now. Search for Medical ID on iPhone or Emergency Information on Android. Fill it out. List your pacemaker, your insulin, your allergies, and make sure the option show when locked is turned on. Why? Because if an agent questions your fitness, you can flash that screen without unlocking your phone and say, "My condition is documented and managed." It proves you aren't a wild card, you're a prepared traveler. The nuclear option. Finally, if you are traveling internationally to Europe or Asia this year, do not leave your house without a fit to fly letter from your doctor. It needs to be dated within 10 days of your trip. It's a simple piece of paper that says, "Patient is fit for commercial air travel." If the computer flags you, or the gate agent challenges you, you slap that letter on the counter. It overrides their assessment. It overrides the algorithm. It is your get-out-of-jail-free card. Listen, the skies are getting friendlier for robots and colder for humans. But that doesn't mean you have to stay grounded. You have the wisdom. You have the time. And now, you have the armor. I'm tracking a rumor about new biometric baggage rules hitting in late 2026 that could ban smart luggage entirely. I'm verifying the documents right now. If you want to be the first to know when that drops, and how to beat it, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Don't let them clip your wings. I'm Kaka. Fly safe, fly smart, and I'll see you at the gate.